Just a few hours after spraying their bow with champagne and revealing boat number 2 to the general public, American Magic were flying around the Hauraki Gulf in their brand new AC-75. This is a boat that took about 100,000 hours to complete, and it's really difficult to overemphasize just how complicated a machine this really is. So to see it in full flight charging around the Hauraki Gulf just a couple of hours after launching was pretty incredible. After all, there is no form guide for this kind of book. You can't look it up on YouTube to find out how it goes together. But it very nearly went badly wrong. They got away with it, but it could have been a whole lot worse. But at the very least, it was a reminder of just how close to the edge these boats are and the risks that they take. But it wasn't just the Americans that impressed me. All 3 of the challengers have got out and flown their boats around the Hauraki Gulf just shortly after having launched them. It's impressive stuff. So at the moment it's still a bit difficult to see who's got the strengths in what particular areas. That won't come until a little bit later on. But what it does show us is how different this America's Cup cycle could turn out to be. These teams are a lot further down the line than you might expect, particularly when you consider that this is an America's Cup cycle with a brand new, untried, untested, unprecedented new design. And that's got a number of the experts wondering whether in fact we are in store for closer racing than we might have originally thought, given that these are such wildly different designs. So in the meantime, watching the video footage of these teams charging around the Hauraki Gulf with their new machines reminded me once again why I find this concept so fascinating and why it's taking teams into completely new territory. And one of the biggest clues to this is the way in which the boats heel, because that gives you an indication of just how hard they are to handle. So, to get your head around it, first of all think of a conventional boat. If you looked at it from the stern as it was sailing upwind and heeled to leeward, if you looked at the axis by which the boat heels, it's basically in a line between the back of the boat and the bow. It just rotates around its sort of centre line. A multi-hull does the same thing. You have 2 hulls and the multi-hull rotates around the hull that's in the water, but it rotates around the hull. Okay, so now look at an AC-75 from the same position, from the stern. When it's foiling, it's only supported on 2 points. The rudder on the centre line at the back, but a foil which is way out to leeward. Which means that when the boat heels, it doesn't do so around an axis that goes fore and aft, it heels around the 2 points, the rudder and the foil over here. Which means that as it heels to leeward, the bow rears up in the air. If the boat heels into windward, the bow plunges down towards the water's surface. Which gives you quite a good indication as to why sometimes these boats have some rather unusual motions and why it's so hard to control them through a tack or through a jibe. So if crews thought that the AC-50 foiling cats of the last America's Cup were a bit of a handful, they were in for a bit of a surprise with the AC-75s. And that returns me to my original point. I'm amazed at how fast these teams have actually learnt to do something really quite extraordinary. And then came some big news about the boat we've all been waiting for, Emirates Team New Zealand's second boat. And when it slipped out of the shed, few were expecting what they saw.
An absolutely monumentous occasion for the team. It's 75,000 man hours have gone into the build and design of this boat, so to get out there and get on the water tomorrow with this is going to be absolutely sensational. I think absolute massive credit to the team. The whole marine industry in New Zealand has actually got behind us here, and it's a wonderful achievement, so I think New Zealand should be very proud.
I named this boat Te Rehu Tai. May God bless her and all who sail on her.
Yeah, really exciting night to have just launched Te Rehutai, our race boat that we're going to put on the start line March 6th next year. So much work's gone into this boat, many hours. Absolutely thrilled with tonight, but looking forward to getting it on the water now.
Holding your breath still, you jump the fire. We'll just sit and wait till you see me fly. You know they'll never catch me for it. See me fly, the way I put my finger on it. See me fly, you got it, then try to tell me you got the wrong guy. See me fly, you know they'll never catch me for it. See me fly, the way I put my finger on it. See me fly, you got it, then try to tell me you got the wrong guy.
So the complete fleet for the 36th America's Cup, including the Challenger Series, are now afloat and sailing. The clock's counting down, and we really are on our way.